friends and relatives, we have come here today at the invitation of Nathan and Allison to share in the joy of their wedding. As I was the original matchmaker that brought these two together, I am honored to officiate their desire to express their inner love and devotion they have in their hearts towards one another. Allison and Nathan came today desiring to be united in this relationship of marriage.
We made it through the trials. We stood against the wind. Never we blink an eye. Never we stop moving forward. Never stop moving forward. We're gonna make a way, and we will overcome. Yes, we will overcome. The world will hear us say, we're never giving up. Won't stop until we're done. Nothing can hold us back now. Nothing will shake our ground.
I'm gonna share just a real quick story. A few years ago, I was helping Nathan with his taxes and having our annual relationship discussion. And Nathan said, and this has been many years, don't you know any nice girls who have jobs and are normal? And lo and behold, Allison's parents were my next clients that afternoon. And as we were meeting, I just happened to bring up the discussion that I had just had with Nathan. I said, do you know any nice girls that would be interested in an awesome catch? And I could be a little biased since Nathan is my godson. Jesse and Diane both looked at each other and said that their daughter Allison is looking for the same thing. So the matchmaking began. A few weeks later, I called Nathan and I said, how's it going? He said, I've talked to her numerous times, but we haven't went out yet. I said, well, tell me exactly what you're saying. And Nathan said, well, just normal stuff. And I say, let's go out sometime. And I said, that is not clear enough. I said, you need to ask her, let's go take Cooper, her doggy, for a walk tomorrow. So he did it, and he called me back, and he said, it worked. So here we are today on a beautiful beach, and it all began with a dog. So before we exchange your vows, I wanted to point out that all these years, taking care of Lily and Cooper, you all have been preparing for your marriage.
We're gonna make a way. Yes, we will overcome. The world will hear us say, we're never giving up. Won't stop until we're done. We were born to meet someday. Our separate lives and separate loves stood in our way. I've hid for years in this well-lit room. All passing cars were failed attempts to find you. Though every that our paths would surely
Marriage is the clasping of hands, the blending of two hearts, the union of two lives into one, and your marriage must stand, not by the authority of the state, not by the seal of your wedding, but by the strength and power of your faith and the love you have for one another. Nathan, do you take Allison to be your wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, to promise to love and cherish her for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Allison, do you take Nathan to be your husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, to promise to love and cherish him for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Having this kind of love in your hearts for one another, you have chosen to exchange rings as a sign and seal of the promises you are making to one another today. And do you have a ring for Allison? And do you have a ring for Nathan? Thank you, Freddie. Rings are very large in their significance. They are made of a precious metal and precious stone, and it reminds us that the love that we have is not cheap or common. But indeed, love is very costly and dear to us. These rings are made in a circle, and their design tells us that we must keep love continuous. As you wear these rings, whether you are together or apart for even just a moment, may these rings be a constant reminder of the promises you are making to one another today. Nathan, will you please take this ring and place it upon the third finger of Allison's left hand? And holding her hand in yours, please repeat the promise to her, saying after me. With this ring, I promise to be your faithful and loving husband.
I promise to be your faithful and loving husband.
Allison, will you please take this ring and place it on the third finger of Nathan? With this ring, I promise to be your faithful and loving wife.
To be your faithful and loving
All right, now we're going to have, it's called a sand unity service. So y'all hang right here a second. I'm gonna have, right here in this special spot where they're standing, I'm gonna have Nathan scoop some sand, and he's gonna hand one to Allison, and he's gonna keep one. Oh no, we may need a funnel. No, one at a time. Let's see one at a time. Okay. All right, and this is gonna be a lasting memory of where they changed their vows. Gracious God, Spirit of life and love, we ask all the blessings upon Nathan and Allison in their life together. May they be blessed with patience to see through times of tension or conflict. May they be blessed with kindness to enable them to nurture and care for one another in times of pain or sorrow. We pray for Allison's grandmother, and we ask that you watch over all of us and keep us all safe in our journeys home. Amen. Allison and Nathan, you've come here today before us and have expressed your desire to become husband and wife. You have shown your love and affection by joining hands and have made promises of faith and devotion, each to the other, and have sealed these promises by the giving and the receiving rings. Therefore, it is my privilege, by the authority given to me by the American Marriage Ministries and the state of Florida, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Nathan, you may kiss your wife. Everybody hold up after this, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Nathan Richardson.
I wanna be who I am. insecure. I wanna live, wanna live, wanna live the way that I was born. Oh, there's no book on how, there's no book on who, when it comes to love, love, love. I won't hide who I am. Love always means you can call it a sin. Love always wins. Wanna live how I feel, wanna love what is real, and I don't need to explain. Yeah, we're all beating hearts deep within. And love always wins. Love always wins. Love always wins. Yeah, yeah. I won't hide who I am. Love always means you can call it a sin. Love always wins. Wanna live how I feel, wanna love what is real, and I don't need to explain. Yeah, we're all beating hearts deep within. And love always wins. I won't hide who I am. Love always wins. You can call it a sin. But love always wins.
For the ones who don't know, Allison and I became best friends in our first semester of the education program in college. We're not the type of regular best friends. We don't talk on a regular basis day to day, but we're the type of best friends that we're just a phone call away. We're there in life's low moments, high moments. We're there for all the big parts. And if you know Allison, she hates attention, but y'all, look at her. I know you hate me. She is the most beautiful bride, and Nathan is the luckiest guy. Even though we weren't always sure about Nathan, Allison didn't know how to handle a man who only talked and lived and slept and breathed football. But our boy is turning her into a football fan slowly. Luckily, for second and third chances, we are finally here celebrating them. I know that Nathan is the right guy for her and that he will help make her dreams come true. So let's raise your glass. Hopefully you have margarita or beer, unlike my water. And let's cheers. Cheers to a lifetime of happiness. We love you all. Cheers.
So for those that you all that don't know, I'm an only child, and a lot of times when I would talk about friends as a kid, my parents probably really thought I was talking about an imaginary friend. I know this was true whenever Nathan came to town just across the street. What do you say, 9 years old? You were 9, so I was 7. But I went in and told them, there's a new boy across the street, and they were like, oh yeah, I'm sure. There weren't a lot of kids in the middle of Bardstown. But the first time we were telling this story the other night, the first time we hung out actually, my cousin was down from Michigan, and we were just playing basketball, and she said, who's that boy over there? I said, I don't know, I haven't met him, he just moved in. And I guess there's probably still a little nervous tension for one of us to kind of venture across the street there. But she's like, well, let's go. And I was like, well, all right. So we walk over, and I was thinking about it actually last week as I was thinking about what I wanted to say. And literally from that time forward, from the highs, the lows, and everything in between, this guy's been there for me, and I feel like I've been there for him. My wife's got brothers and sisters, and she doesn't understand how I can be an only child. And I've said, with Nathan right across the street, I pretty much had a brother. With that, I'd say it's sometimes like a big brother. We're pretty close in age. I was thinking about it. A lot of the firsts that I've been through in life were with Nathan. I'd say we talked to Landon, my parents, but I don't believe they were all positive first influences on certain things. often wonder now, looking back, if he heard some things at school and then come home and I was the guinea pig to see if everybody would be all right. But we had a lot of good times growing up. I think one of my favorite ones, I'll tell you, we got a neighbor here too. We might incriminate ourselves a little bit, but I think it's funny because when we run around, we stole a bunch of signs one night, for sale signs, and we put them in everybody's yard around the whole neighborhood. And we thought it was the funniest thing ever. And then the next morning, my dad comes in there and he goes, "Well, I guess you and Nathan pissed the neighbors off." I said, "Why?" "Well, the only two houses not for sale on our block are ours and the Richardsons." I wondered how many times Glenn and Dad talked in the street after some of the stuff we had done, but I don't think they probably needed to too often. We told on ourselves enough, I believe. But like I said, I think growing up with Nathan was like having a brother right there across the street. And to me, like I said, we've shared a lot of firsts, but one I get to share is marriage. I got married first, so to me, I think just the happiness that I see between you and Allison, I look forward to you all and your life. And Marcia kind of stole my line there on the dogs. I was going to say, if you ever were questioning whether you all were going to be a good relationship or good parents, just look at how you treat those dogs on the internet, because I promise those kids and those dogs are well taken care of. But again, let's cheers to Nathan and Allison and a long life for them. Cheers.
Hello. For those that don't know me, my name's Chris Gilpin. Nathan and I have been pals basically since we were pups. So our dads worked together, played golf together, and it's funny that I think in 15 years we probably haven't addressed each other by our first names. We call each other Podge, which is another word for partner. Our dads played golf together for 20 years. We played golf together for 2 years. We were just having a conversation, I guess, a couple days ago about what our friendship was like. And ours is a little different. We don't see each other all the time, but when we get together, it's like we were never apart. And really happy for you guys. And I'll tell you, those of you that have known Nathan long enough, you've had enough conversations with him that he'll bring up something about this day, very day. When will it happen? With who? And today we have that answer. I noticed something different about him about 3 years ago. We were at a football game, and Nathan never really talks about girls with me, and that's fine. He's very private, and that's good. And one day he brought up a girl. He's like, "Man, I'm talking to somebody." And that's weird. I never brings that up. And a couple months later, yeah, I kind of like her, and that's when I knew something was going on. So. And Allison, I'll say I've noticed a big change in him, and I think you're to credit for that, and we thank you, and we're glad you found each other. And Lana and Nathan, I can't sit up here and not talk about your dad. Lana and Glenn were like second parents to me, and I know it might have been missing out there, but maybe that was Glenn's tears of happiness. So raise your glasses. Happy for you, buddy. Cheers.
Nice job.
My feet around, I'm dreaming of escaping. My heart is reaching out till it connects. Waiting in the open where I feel so unprotected. And you are all I need. You're the love I'm looking for. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you tonight. I need you in my life, yeah. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you tonight. I need you in my life, yeah. Whoa, yeah. I close my eyes and I can see you smile. Path we're going on, you give me every mile. Dreamed of you for oh so long. through my mind. You are forever my design.